Hey, good evening. Welcome. This is a special edition where I actually am. I guess I'll be the host for Artist Connection tonight. Which will be a little different. Tonight I guess we'll say it's a special night for Artist Connection, episode 12, and tonight's guest is actually the host and creator of Artist Connection, Chef Drea. Chef Drea, we are going to talk about her book release, which happened to be what would you say your book release was yesterday, or just the
Yes,
party was
yesterday on my
yesterday?
birthday.
Yesterday, Miss Drea turned 18, and no, yesterday was her birthday, and she decided to do her book release on her birthday. And from all the pictures, it looked like it was a great event. It looked like everybody had fun. Is that what happened?
Yes, everybody had a great time. It was food, community, entertainment, poetry. It was beautiful. We had prayer, we had comedy, we had a band, we had a DJ, we had a chef, we had vendors just bringing different artists together. And it was just a really, really dope.
Great. So let's get into it. Drea, let you know most of the time, even though you have this is your show as the host, and you share the platform with other artists a lot, where you'll have co-hosts, and even some of the prior shows you had other co-hosts with you as well. So I think a lot of times a lot of people may not know who you are, and you know what you do. Explain to the audience, like, who is this Drea the poet, Drea the chef? Who is she?
Well, I'm a mother first. Um, I make sure that I set a good example, for my children. Sometimes, they have to learn from their mistakes, but it's life, life lessons. But just being, a positive role model, working in the community. And I feel like I'm a service worker. So a lot of my jobs are to service the people. So I try to see, if I see someone's gift, I want to nurture it and help them, see it as well. I had a lot of people come out. A lot of poets are multi-talented, so they just don't do one thing. So I have poets that's painters, poets that's chefs, poets that's public speakers, poets that's ministers, and different things like that. So I just try to nurture and support. I believe support is everything, you know, for somebody, just having somebody there in your corner, always cheering you on, telling you that you're doing great. We all need that as, human beings, just being a support system, especially for young, impressionable women. And men can do that also for men, but I feel like it's my responsibility, to be a good person because someone was a good person to me.
So this was the artist connection is your brainchild. So this is what you created with artist connection, with bringing different people. Like you said, sometimes it's not, a person may not even be a poet, and they could just be a singer. And this is the platform that you created, and the space that you wanted them to have, to feel like, look, we all bring something to the table. And you know
Hmm.
how let me ask you, because see it, one of the things that most people may not realize about you is that you very and hardly ever really focus on yourself. Even when it comes to doing the shows, you very rarely even will recite a poem. You very rarely will even let it be known. Like, even your book, yeah, this was your book, and you was working on your book the whole time, but it wasn't more. You never focused on me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. How, I'm gonna ask you, how do you balance that with yeah, you wanted to create this book, create a different atmosphere in your writing, and this is what happened when I read your book. because I had one, and I ain't gonna lie, I had one perception of you, and then I'm reading your poems, and I'm like, not that either way was good or bad, because it wasn't bad at all, in either what I perceived of you or what I read from your poems. It was just, I think that you kind of like let people in a little bit with your book. Explain that experience of you writing your this is your first published book, right?
No, second.
Second, second.
Yes.
Okay.
My first book was The Power to Change the Way to Love Yourself.
Mm.
And this one is connections between us. So, well, writing, I felt like it was always a passion of mine, but I would never share what I wrote or my words or anything like that. My sister, well, is a poet. My dad is a poet, and they write great poetry. We had this group on Facebook. We should share our poetry and things like that, and people were to critique it, but it wasn't something that we shared like with a lot of people. It was just in our immediate group. So I think about 3.5 years ago, I was on a computer and a link popped up. And it was Community Literature Initiative. And it said, if you're a writer, you're a poet, we have this program. So I was interested. I submitted a poem or a few poems, and I got an email back saying that they wanted to interview me. So I was a lot nervous, but I went to the interview with Hiram Sims. He is the professor of CLI. Um, he interviewed me. I started taking classes, his class at USC. Then I had Jihad. She was my teacher. Then the pandemic happened. So I was off for a while, and then I found out they were doing it online. So we're doing poetry via Zoom classes and things. And they just taught us like the ins and out of poetry and the different, ways to write poetry. We learned about all these great poets and authors and just the poetry community. And I felt like those were my people, right? And so they just helped me to grow more. And I always talk about a lot of the amazing people within Community Literature Initiative. I was able to meet Ravina, Alex Petunia, Jasmine Banks, my teacher that's been on here several times, Mr. 11 Words with James. Some really, really dope teachers and educators that inspired me. And then I connected with Shaquan. Shaquan is a powerhouse, right? You know that. She's on here a lot. She's multi-talented. She can sing, she can dance. She's the sweetest person, one of the sweetest people that I know. And then from meeting her in the program, I also met some other really dynamic poets, a lot of different from different backgrounds. So I like the diversity, in Community Literature Initiative. So I met Kaylee Kade. She's dope. She plays the saxophone. She's a poet. She's very deep. She's a beautiful mom. I met her mom and I see why. She has all of those different elements of her life. And I have a great support system, with my friends, Leandria, um, Lynn, Rayana. Then I met Elu. He's a really, really dope poet. Clint Ice, the Iceman. He also, draws and illustrates and writes. So just making, this really great connection with so many dope people is, if anybody wants to a community, they should structure it the way that they want it to be. So it's not
Let
always drama in everything, right? It's who you are and who you always show up to be. Not your
let me
representative, your true self.
let me ask you, Drea. Do you think? Let me. How has CLI changed you as a poet?
So Hiram used to always tell me in class, and I believe in always telling people the truth. So tell me if my poem is trash. Tell me, if I need to work on it. And he would say he was never mean about it. I need more. You just giving a little. I want to hear more. The story's always a cliffhanger. But I used to be like a lot of my poems were like truthful things that I experienced and things like that. So I was kind of embarrassed to write about different things and how I felt. So it just made me better because it was challenging. I know you could do this. I know you have more, just pulling that out of you. And then I was able to create this book because the first book that I wrote was like, the second book that I wrote was not on the level as this book. And then continue to write. I think I have like 6, 7, 8 books in my computer, and the writing just getting better, and all the collaborations with different people and having different poets and teachers and professors perfect your writing is something good because you have that community of support.
So you can you when you assess your life in poetry, knowing the tradition was basically passed down from your dad,
Hmm.
and now being exposed to like really like a community of poets and y'all building constructive criticism, you feeding off that type of energy. Do you feel like anybody could be a poet, or just like, or do you feel like, okay, only a select group of people have been blessed to be a poet, so I got to be a caretaker of the word?
So I feel like anybody can write and recite words,
Mm,
right? So I feel like it's different stages of poetry. So what I do may be different from Shaquan or Kaylee or Elu or AJ or Jessica. So we're all different, right? Alex Petunia always she talks about earthly things, and I always call her yoga in human form because when
mm.
she recites her poem, it like puts you in this peaceful place, right? So when Shaquan kind of does trap poetry, so it'll get you amped up and turned up, and you like, yeah, yeah, and things like that. And so Clint is more, he talks more about love, as well as Elu. It's more like, love, like the 90s music, you get into that kind of vibe. So it's different levels of poetry. Some people are more entertainment, dramatic. Just like the movies, they have different genres of books, different genres of movies. I believe it's different genres of poetry, and we
and
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 everybody
and
can fit in those different spaces.
and your expertise, is there a difference between poetry and spoken word?
I think it's different. I wouldn't say I'm not a spoken word artist, and I have a poem titled that. So I just think, it's different. So it's different levels to that. Some people can recite a poem for 20, 30 minutes without reading from a paper or a book, right? So that's more performance poetry, you know. But for me, like, I'm more of, I want to relax, I want to sit down. I have a lot going on in this brain, and I'm not gonna remember everything. And sometimes my poems are really long. And I've tried to write short poems, and I'm like, something's missing. So I add on, add on, add on, add on, add on. I'm like, I'm not remembering this.
T- tell us a situation where you were reciting poetry and you felt like you bombed, but the audience really liked it.
All the time because your nerves, but all the poets tell me this, even the poets that's won championships, like I'm always nervous. I'm like, well, you didn't look nervous to me. And what Shaquan told me was, you know the poem, they don't know the poem, they don't know if you messed up, so keep going. From where you think you messed up, just continue to go with what you remember or ad lib.
Let me ask you, before the pandemic, did you ever do virtual poetry?
No.
Okay. So, and it's that's the reason why I asked it, because I have another part to that question. So, before the pandemic, you explain to us how you are able to connect with the audience. How is that experience? Because you come in there, you got a vibe, you got a poem that you may want to recite, and the room may not be on that vibe that night, or it might be early in the night and people get a little wine in them, and so you might want to go there. Explain how you as an artist, what do you do if you're the fifth person to go up? How do you assess the room?
Well, basically, when I do poetry, it's for me. I'm doing a
Mm,
poem that I wrote that's tailored to me, either they're
mm,
gonna like it or not. And sometimes you may get different responses. And I've seen that when I watched the video and I did a certain poem, like I do true confessions and I start off, I was never in love with you, and they're like, oh, so I get that response all of the time. And then when I go further into it, you hear like either the women or the men on certain parts of the poem. When I do the us poem and I talk about how we're divided and I never been mistreated by no one other than my own race, and I hear the oohs and ahs and quiet. But then when I get to almost the end, when I say I still love us, and then that's when you get the clapping and yes, and stuff like that. So sometimes I feel like like you said, reading the room, if I'm in a room and it's a bunch of older poets, I don't know how they're going to take my us poem. So I would give before the poem, I would tell them like, look, the poem is gonna start off a little shaky, but it's gonna get better. So I probably would do it
do
like
you feel like and you guys in the chat and everybody that may watch, her us poem is very it's a hard pill to swallow when you realize what she's saying is really true. And when you assess that the situation that all of us in, we can identify with the poem. Do you feel like that's like the one poem that you've written, like where it does it hurt to recite it, or does it feel good to recite it?
it doesn't feel good yet. I still feel like I get kind of like warm and start getting hot at certain points because it's be like my people. Like we can do a lot. We're so talented and intelligent and resourceful. And if we just came together to trust each other and not get over on one another, then we will be better people. And we won't have to be, oh, they're holding us down or the white man. This is not about that. It's about us, and we learn to love us and not hate on us and trust us and build community with us and stop talking about everybody else because we are the problem. And until we fix us, we will never get anywhere else in life.
Mm,
And that's the
mm.
problem. People will befriend you and act like they're your friend, and then just like that turn on you and make it seem like it's your fault or their insecurities, they try to put it off on you when you just
So
trying to lift
so
them up.
someone has to be the victim.
Yeah, the victim mentality, and it's sad, you
So
know.
this this beautiful poem, Us, and you've recited it plenty of times. And then the book is called Connections Between Us. Explain what went into just I love the way that you crafted. For those in the chat, I have a rough draft of the book, and I don't know if the actual book is like this, but the way the rough draft, it kind of like. And I told you this when I spoke to you about it. There aren't too many books that I've read. I've read a lot of books, and I haven't really read a lot of poetry books. I probably read about 50 poetry books in my life. But you wrote this poetry book. It was like a novel. It was a journey. You know what I mean? And it I couldn't stop reading it. I told you sent it to me. It took me a week. I apologize. You accepted my apology. So when I finally got to it, I couldn't put it down because it was literally for the people that like to read. Sometimes you can read a novel and you just be like, I can't put it down because of the way you did the table of continents. It just what went into that?
So I want to write something about connecting, right? Um, when I started the book, I was like, okay, I can write a connections poem. So I played on the title, Connections Between Us. So, like in a table in context, the first poem is connections. Between is the second, and then us. And then it goes trickles down to the other poems that talks about the connection and intertwining of what connects us in relationships, family ships, dysfunction, everything, just the different elements, which I feel like is important. When I started writing the first book that I wrote, it was more about the power to change the way to love yourself, and how do we do that? And it talks about 10 ways to do that. And I want to continue that in another book that I wrote. So I was like, connections, like we're all connected some kind of way, right? We're connected through the things that we do, our hobbies, sports, crafts, talents, race, culture, religion. We all have some kind of connection, no matter where we come from. We can relate to something. We all have tragedy in our life. We all have um, misconceptions of other people, races, men, women. We all could share that experience. So I didn't want to make, even with the cover, everybody was like, oh, you should put two Black people. And I was like, why? I don't want to just market to one group of people. I think that everybody should be included. I believe in inclusion. That's what community is. That's what a connection is.
You have a
It
copy
doesn't have
right now in front of you?
Hmm.
You have a copy of your book in front of you?
It's on my desk.
Could you grab it? Because I think I love the cover. I think the colors are amazing.
Yes. I'll grab it.
I apologize, you guys in the chat. I mean, I really you guys that are here and know you guys that know Drea, um the personality is awesome. Could you put the cover up real quick? Oh, I think that's awesome. You did the artwork?
So I had this idea, and I know I had an artist that did the artwork for me. And I have to send you the original picture. And I was like, no, that's not it. So I found this digital artwork, and he just blended the two together. And I was like, that's getting better. But how about we do explosion of colors,
Mm,
right? So we can include everybody
mm.
in it. And of course, my queer friends thought it was perfect for this month because it's Pride Month. But I was like, that's not what I was going for. But okay, however you want to take the book, that's fine with me. But I believe all of us are, connecting. I love everybody. Like yesterday, if you attended my book release and birthday celebration, it was a rainbow of people, um, people from different backgrounds, religions, cultures, sexual orientation, and things like that. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss this party because I seen some pictures, right? And I seen a couple videos that you posted. Did you enjoy your party?
I did enjoy it. The only thing that happened yesterday, it was I did not eat anything. I didn't eat until today, but it was beautiful. Lynn prayed. So we started off with prayer. We had comedy from Anastasia, which is she's so amazing. Love her. We had a
And I seen the
dynamic.
young lady that does the photography that came on the show.
Oh yeah, she came. She took the pictures. I had two photographers and a videographer. So and I had a 360 booth. We had an open bar, catering by Rico and myself. So we had a really good time. We had a lot of vendors. So Egyptian princess that was on here a few times. She came and she vended. She's always a beautiful spirit. Had Ebony Echoes that's been on the show before. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just everybody. Great vibes. Queen Kwani, she showed out, of course. So just a lot of dope. So Shaquan and Kaylee wrote pieces to my Us poem, and we performed together. So that was really dope. Kaylee played the trump. She got up there with the band and did her thing. It was a great night. We had Juan.
I asked you that
That's the
because
LA Poet
Drea,
Society.
one
Hmm.
one of the things that and it's interesting because those everybody that knows you, everybody, the circle of family that you have created, we all know that you go 1,000. Like your mind is always creating. You always see the creative talents in others. And I needed to ask you that because I know this was your birthday. Even though the book release is great, but did you have that moment where you was like, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I know everybody had a good time, but did you have your personal moment where like, well, you still ain't had it?
I mean, I don't really celebrate my birthday like that. Everybody was like, it's not about everybody else, it's about you. I'm like, it is. I want everybody to have a great time. I want everybody to see that, whatever you envision, you could do. So whatever I set my mind out to do is coming true. I just believe it. And it happens, right? And I don't um I'm very selfless. And I just think that making sure everybody else is fine and doing good, I'm always gonna be okay. I'm simple. I don't
It's
require a
funny
lot.
because even listening to you, like I said, looking at the pictures, looking at the videos, for those in the chat, there is a phrase in the culinary world called mise en place. Mise en place, it sounds like it says, it's a French word, and it
Mhm.
stands for a state of readiness, everything in place, a state of preparedness. And if you know Drea, you know she's always preparing, always thinking, and it's interesting that you know you you had to cater your party.
Rico was like, "No, let me take care of it." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna just cook some stuff. You can, do the majority, but I want to cook, for the people."
Yeah, yeah,
I had
yeah.
an interesting conversation today with Clint, and we were talking, and then the wheels was turning, and I was like, "We could do a dope show with a lot of dope poets," and we came up with the Magnificent Seven. So
How old
I
is Clint? How old is Clint telling his age with that name? That magnificent self. Don't be playing with that. Don't be listen.
so
Elu know. Elu
Elu's
know.
gonna be a part of the Magnificent
He
Seven.
look. He know. Y'all use Magnificent Seven. Those of us that seen that movie don't. And I ain't talking about the one that Denzel and them did, which was good, which was really good. But the original. Whew.
It's gonna be dope. We got a dope lineup. I put everybody in a group message. Said that we had this great idea. This is what we want to do. I'm waiting for the responses. Then we got seven women. So we just go put it together. It's gonna happen. Clint says, Shh. It's gonna be dope.
So
Then
so the day after your party, you still
mhm.
the creative light never turns off. So let me
You got
ask you.
going.
Let me ask you. I'm not trying to be funny. Is today Thursday or Friday?
I didn't know what to do.
Uh, uh, uh.
I was
You
like,
guys in the chat, Drea thought today was Wednesday. You guys, you
and
guys, she thought
Wednesday
it
was
was
my
Wednesday.
birthday.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. You know. So let's talk about this book, man. This book. Explain the book scene. Because I told you I'm an avid reader. People be laughing when I be telling them I be reading. Like I remember at one time I used to sleep with books,
I did too.
and I still got one book right now that's at the head of my bed. It- It's one book. I was supposed to read the book because I want to talk to the guy who wrote the book. And I left it there, and I didn't get a chance to read it. Then I pulled out two more books the other day and sat them like right here. And then I got books over here, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this. So explain the book scene, how you plan to, because now where the rubber meets the road, you got to sell these books now.
I sold a
I
lot
know
of
you
books
got
last
to. I know you got a plan. You don't have to tell us the
year.
plan, but
My plan is to get a group of the artists or the poets together that has books, and we have like come like rent out a space, or we could go to a park or a library, and we just set up and sell our books. People always come when there's food, and I got the food, and I got the books, and we got the entertainment. So,
yeah, I see some cute little bookmarks too. Yeah, you
I
have
got
some bookmarks.
bookmarks, candles, journals, book
Oh,
boxes,
yeah, Elu,
pens.
I'm a bookworm, man. I'm just I it's funny, Elu. Not to take away from this beautiful show about Drea. I don't like the books that most people like. I don't like urban books. I read enough of them, and I just got tired of them. I'd rather some. I'd read sci-fi before that. I grew up, we got a little age, so I grew up Nancy Drew. But I do got a a surprise for you though. Do
What's
you
the
like
special?
surprises?
What's the surprise?
Do you want the surprise?
Hmm.
You want the surprise? I'm gonna mute your mic, okay? Got a
Okay.
surprise for you. You can't say nothing.
Surprise!
Kwani, I muted her mic. She can't say nothing.
Oh,
She gonna take there and get these roses. She gonna sit there and get these roses tonight.
and you deserve it. You are so amazing. Your book is Chef's Kiss. What a poet. I love you, girl. This is amazing. And the party last night, oh my gosh. Q, you had to be there. Like it was not the party to miss. You had to be there. It was just phenomenal poets. Her poems just, oh my god, she does so much for everybody. I'm so glad that everybody showed up and showed out. She was selling books. We had to re-up the tables because there was so many books being sold. Like she's amazing, and it's just gonna go up and up and up from here. I wanted to read one of your poems for you
Well,
because I,
Kwani, you gotta act like she's not here.
oh, you're
She's got to take these roses today. No, she's not. She's not gonna dictate tonight's show.
not.
She gonna get these roses tonight.
So I just want to sit here in silence and admire. I'm gonna change the words a little bit and admire the woman that sits before me. Take all this truth and amazing she is. Yes, you are the queen. You are. Will ride the waves of life, the weather, whatever. Fly high together, you and I, so deeply connected, our hearts will beat as one. Our love will reach the moon and kiss the sun blissfully in love. Oh, look at what you've done, walking in purpose. Oh, look at what you've done, learning, teaching, uplifting, standing as one. Our souls are intertwined, you and mine, mastering this beautifully sculptured being, freeing me from the myths that man ain't shit. I'm amazed by you. I believe your truth. When you speak, I listen to every word, inhaling all of you, an amazing being, woman, brother, mother, servicer, a friend, a stand up woman. The Most High has blessed you with joy within, and now He is giving you a gift of a new best friend. With time, we will blossom and find love within. Travel the world, stand side by side through the good and bad times. Overlook one another's flaws. In all and everything else fails, love will prevail over all. Standing ovation, applause. Patiently waiting, anticipation for one day. Our souls will speak a connection so deep. I feel you in my sleep, amazing together as one. I want a better view of you are amazing. Those were Lee's words. I just changed the girl from the boy a little bit to dedicate it to you.
So Kwani, now it's time for me and you to talk about it, right? Hey, I need you to explain as a reader and as her friend. Were you surprised at the words when you first read her book? Give me the experience.
Okay. Andrea is a dope poet. So she's always coming with them words. But when I was reading it, I was like, okay, poet. Like, I knew she had it in her, but I was like, oh, it's a connection. You can't help to be connected after reading this. Like, to feel love, to feel the, the, like, I'm sorry, I'm getting text messages. I forgot to put my my phone on do not
did
disturb.
you feel, Kwani? I had explained earlier. I don't know if you was watching earlier. I had explained that I couldn't put it down.
It
And
is.
usually,
It's one of those.
I'm a reader. I fall asleep. I do whatever, and I happened to be off that day. And I said, "All right, I'm gonna read it now." And I was reading it, and it was like like a novel. And I'm like, okay, you know,
It
are they getting
definitely
married at
takes
the
you
end of
on a
this? Like,
journey.
because you feel like you're reading a story
Yeah.
about love and the journey, and you know, I don't want to keep boosting her head up, but she might
Oh
have.
no, she deserves it. Big it up, big it. Cause oh my God, you are amazing. This
It's
book
probably, Kwani.
is
Do you think right now that because her mic is muted is driving her crazy right now?
probably because she wants to say something. She probably wants to tell me what to read next. You know, she likes to tell people what to do.
And Kwani, that's one of the things is that I was messing with her last week when we did the Father's Day show. She was on vacation and
It's
she
still trying
was
to control
look.
everything.
It's a funny thing because it's not the type of control where it's overbearing.
No,
It's like a
it's
perfectionist.
all in love.
I know you could bring something to the table, so I
Hmm.
need you to do this. It's an encouraging thing, and I always tell her, I'm so intrigued with CLI, and every time, Kwani, since the beginning, when she would introduce somebody, she'd be like, "Oh, this is CLI alum," and I'd be like, because I'm not a poet, I'm able to connect with you guys, and you guys take me on the writing journey, and it's like, wow. For me, just being a reader, I couldn't even imagine as a bookworm being in I was in book clubs when I was a kid, but not now. And to have this group of people, as she always says, community as a collective, and be able to build, and I think it's just awesome.
It is. It definitely is. And she brings us all together. She's amazing. I'm so proud of her. Like this book.
She good now, Kwani. She can talk now.
You could talk. You could talk now.
Thank you, Shaquan. Love
You are
you.
welcome. I love you too. This is amazing.
That's it,
Everybody wanted
Kwani.
I
that
cannot wait
FU
to read.
last night.
Kwani, let me ask you, Kwani, do you get the random text just out of nowhere when she sees something that may be a benefit? Do you get the random text? I,
Oh yeah, she's
I,
always
I
encouraging. It's not Andrea if she is not trying to push you to do something better for yourself.
she
Yes.
sent me something. She sent me something on Monday. So I'm like, what is this? So I filled it out. That's that align thing you sent me, right? And it's amazing that because last week I had a good encounter with somebody at the store, and they asked me something about what we do, and they said, "Oh, do you do local?" I don't do local because I don't know nobody local like that. But when she sent the thing and I filled it out, it's connecting me with local people. So this is the type of person she is, and it's just amazing that she has created this artist connection, and it's just it's a wonderful experience. Definitely for me, I'm tired. I'm always tired at night during these shows, and
You
it's
be
like,
sticking
yo.
it out though, Q. You the real MVP.
So did you see her have her moment yesterday, or she just was being the hostess with the mostest?
You already know she was busy doing everything, but she took her glamour shot. She was dressed to the T. She had like 12 fit changes, and every fit matched the book. I hope Lynn sent you that video. I took.
I did. I saw a lot of pictures, a lot of video. Everybody looked at nice.
Oh yes,
The
it was
atmosphere
so
the atmosphere
beautiful.
was nice. You know.
The venue on its own was just spectacular. Like, you would have thought we were getting married. We were having, it was so beautiful. It was so elegant. It had different rooms. They had the little spinning circle. It had like a little swing set in a corner and a cut somewhere. It
Oh,
was just, oh my gosh. It was.
listen. For somebody that don't listen, when I first met her, oh, I don't like taking pictures. I don't take pictures. I
No,
Kwani, Kwani, I seen some pictures on that swing. I was like, oh no, she didn't.
She is super mile tall.
She was showing out, but that's really a great thing to be. Like I always say, you create the life that you want to live, and for her to be able to celebrate this book release on her birthday amongst her family that she created is really really something nice. And I'm glad that I know it's driving her crazy quantity to do a show about her. Oh,
But you
because
were
look,
so
I thought it was last week. She was like, no, it's not this week, it's next week.
this book. You just leave this right here.
I have all these books I created partly through CLI and one with um, Los Angeles Poet Society. So it's been a journey. And this 1619 project, I think it's an important book. It has some really dope poems in here.
Yeah.
What is your favorite poem in the book?
Us.
I should have known it was us.
I want to make a part 2 to that poem.
Mm.
And Kwani, could you do your part to us?
Let me see, because it's in my notes. Let me see.
Eyes wide shut, huh?
Let's see.
Yes, that poem. A lot of it's from experience, and it was just like, people fool you, and they act like you they ride or die, and they have a whole nother family. So it was, yeah.
Do you think your life experience has made you a better writer?
Yes, of course. How much it made me see things differently, and a lot of people were like, um, why I don't get upset or why I'm not mad. And I feel like even when you in friendships or relationships or family ships, you have to take some kind of ownership to the part you played in it, if it was directly or indirectly. Because I allowed this to happen because I seen the signs. But you cannot change a person. They're gonna be who they are. You can't keep telling the person that you're great when they don't feel that they're great,
Mm.
right? You cannot continue to enable a person or feed into their insecurities. They have to want to change that for themselves. And it's going to make you a different person. And I never want to be resentful towards anybody. So I'd rather just walk away. But I have to work on that too, because I feel like a lot of times I was just throwing people away. And like when I ended friendships or family ships or relationships, I would get a text like, you really hurt my feelings. I really cared about you. I really loved you. And which I just think people don't care. Well, how could you do this XYZ if you care so much? So you have to have discernment. And a lot of times people don't have that. It may be people that want to continue to play on your kindness and take it for weakness because they're using you for a purpose. And I had to recognize that too. So it was kind of hard. Like you can love people from a distance, and people don't know how to do that. You don't have to carry that or hold that hate in your heart, because I used to be angry and upset, but it's only hurting me. It's not hurting them. And I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be angry. And people always like, why are you so happy? Like, you can't be happy all the time. Yes, I can. I could be whatever I want. And that's what I'm going to be, happy. And I want to see people happy and successful and succeed. And I feel like it's a lot of people out here that don't have a lot of talent, that are horrible people, but they are doing great things, really. And I want to see people win that are really loving and caring and have that talent. So that's who I'm like, you could do it. I know you could do it. And if I can help you do it, you're gonna do it. And I'll be like, see, you can do it. I told you.
Well, you know me, Drea. I'm not gonna say what it was. I'm not gonna say who it was, right? You don't you have never said an ill word in any conversation that we've had. You've never responded in any text that we've had. But I sent you something and I asked you for your advice, and you well, what was your response?
I
See?
think I said I don't care.
Yeah, I want you to check something out, and it's interesting because you are that nurturing type of person that you see the good in people, and this world will make you think that you can't move like that no more, that you can't treat people well, because like you said, people be having ulterior motives, agendas, hidden stuff going on. They everything's working, the victim stuff. So the your own psyche, you may psych yourself out and be like, I can't continue to keep trying to help this person and nurture this friendship or relationship with them, and they just negative about themselves all the time. So with your personality as a chef, as a poet, as a creator, you know, I don't think sometimes, and this is me talking to you as a partner with what we do. I don't think you realize you're really appreciated, Drea.
Thank you.
No, for real. We really really appreciate you, and I believe that you make other people's lives better. To be able to see things in people because it's a trust. You trust people. You trust me with being a producer of the show. You trust other people with co-hosting, and that's not always easy for somebody to give up something as precious and dear to their heart. And we appreciate you. So I wanted to bring Kwani on, and she obliged. I tried to really surprise you. I couldn't get in touch with everybody when I needed to because we didn't know what day it was, right? So I wanted to surprise you and just let you know that you are appreciated, and I'm quite sure everybody told you that yesterday at the party.
Yes, they wrote me poems. It was so beautiful,
It-
personalized poems, and it was so beautiful. I have so for probably a month, I'm going to be posting the party and different things. But it was really nice. I really appreciate everybody that came out and supported. Um, I have a poem in my book that talks about last night.
Mm,
Speak things into existence, and it happened.
Hey.
mm.
That's real.
It's the title is Dope Poet. And everything in that poem happened last night. So
That's
Well, I do
really
know
dope.
I do know that this week was really busy because nobody sent me a text talking about I want my clips.
I'd
I mean,
still want
literally,
them.
I can't tell you, and I think everybody that knows you knows this. Like you really, you go 1,000.
the hardest working woman I know, hands down.
I, Kwani, do you think that if she couldn't do something for a friend or somebody she cared about, she'd probably get mad, right?
She will find a way. There is no can't in her vocabulary.
Do you know
Let
that?
me, Dre. Let me ask you about your editing because you know how I always talk about your editing, your video stuff. I don't think you realize you got it. You got it, yo. Like I did some graphic arts when I was younger, and but you got it, yo. You got an eye. You got an eye. It's just like when you plating. That plate is your canvas. You got it, and everybody don't have that. I can't plate for shit. I can't plate. I can't plate. You know how Dre, and you know this from being a chef. You know how they start. You know, at one time the stacking was in, and then you do the plating, and you got to put the vegetables over. I never had that. I never was good at that. But you got it, and you're very talented, and just I can't say enough. I can't. I really can't.
And I'm still number one in favorite chef.
Yay! I still vote every day.
So it's the second cut, and I'm number one still right now. So I think we have 2 or 3 more weeks. And then if I win favorite chef, everybody coming. They're already here, right? But this is going to bring bigger opportunities for me to assist other people in
What
living their
I'm
dreams.
I'm gonna ask you because I didn't want to keep you too late tonight because I really want you, Dre, to really enjoy your birthday. Enjoy your birthday weekend. How far you think this gonna go?
Far. I'm already planning the tour for Kwani, right? And I've been talking to people in other states. We're coming to where you are too, Q. So get ready.
Yeah,
And
baby.
I'll either get a small van, make it a little tour bus, and I'm gonna get a group of poets together. We're gonna go all around California first. Then we're gonna do the neighboring states, and then we're just gonna go out. But Kwani about to be making probably 20, 30,000 a month or more.
That's what I'm talking about. We
So
speaking that
we're gonna
into
be
existence all
yes.
around the world.
I want you to hear Shaquan's part to my us poem. Go, Shaquan.
Y'all can hear me when I'm not on?
Yeah.
Kwani, can't hear her.
No, we can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. I sent it to my granny phone. Nanny, can I see your phone? I just need like two minutes. Not even 2 minutes.
But yeah, last night was so amazing. I
It
wish it
was
was there.
so dope. Someone said, when does Andrea sleep? And I have to say, I don't think she does either. She is always on it. She is superwoman. Cause she is superwoman. Yeah,
Ravina wrote
it's
a poem for me. Carlo, like
that was beautiful.
Alex. It was so
Dre,
shy.
I don't think I ever asked you who was favorite living poet, Dre.
I don't have a favorite living poet. I don't. I don't know. I don't have a favorite anything. I think a lot of people are dope. You mean people that I know or old people that just do poetry?
Whoever.
Shaquan is the dopest poet.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Who has it ever been a poet that you've come across? You don't have to say the name. That they didn't take their craft serious. They didn't
Yeah.
realize the gift they had, and you was like, "Yo, this person could be like taking it on another
It's
level."
so many dope poets like Jaha. She dope. Oh
Yes,
my God. She's dope. She used to be my teacher, but yeah, it'd be real. And sometimes, when you be at events and there's so much poetry, you kind of like tune out and you're on your
Look,
phone.
I even seen Cedric up in the party last night too.
Hey, Cedric, he was there. Cedric was there. Everybody showed up. Like I said in my poem, it
everybody.
was dope.
It
It
was
was
such
really
a good.
So Drea, let me ask you another question, right? Quanta, you ready?
Yeah, kind
Let
of.
me ask Drea a question before you start, right? Real
Okay.
quick, Drea.
Agenda.
What would be your greatest moment that you could perform a poem at? Where? What stage would you just love to just finally grease?
So I want to have this restaurant similar to where we were last night and have a stage, and it's just set up just for the artists, and all kind of artists come in from all over the world. So something that we create together. So it's no stage that's now that I would want. That's something, an idea in my head of, oh, I gotta be there, I gotta go there, I gotta do poetry there.
Did she go creating, Quani?
I love the idea. I see it happening. I see it. I see it.
No,
Andrea.
Elu has this great idea. I love the way like Elu Mine and Saint Ice and AJ and the creativeness, Shaquan and Kaylee, and how we just all mesh well together. So, and even the LA Poet Society, Jessica, she just have this creative mind. She can bring people together, and it's just so dope. You know how we just, and everything is always so cool. It's never any drama, no hating, no arguing, and we leave full. And I love that. I love that for us.
That definitely was beautiful.
Quani, without further
I
ado.
got my granny phone, so I can do
Okay.
it. Shout out to Granny who let me borrow her phone. This is for us. May we decide to lift us up, praise our name, dip into our glory, and come out shiny and new to a new us. Will we make each other better and we refrain from tearing us down? To us, may we give us the light we need, that tug as needed for us. We are not the same, but we are not that different. Uniquely us, conquering battles. Let us share the load. Let us set some goals and let's do it for us. Let us be one. That was the to us.
Yes.
Yeah, my granny want her phone back.
My thing too is we always are striving for what somebody else created. The Oscars, the Grammys, those awards, why we want to create our own, something that's for us. We belong. We know we can always achieve that, and we get the honor from each other every day, not just once a year. Oh, we tell somebody, oh, you the dopest. We know they not. And what do you get an award for? I feel like the award should be like a report card, right? It should be community based. What you do for your community, how did you contribute here? What did you change? How did you elevate in your life? Not only your talent. And I feel like that's success. And you see it just written out, right? And that's what you should get a reward for.
On the day that the Supreme Court has modified affirmative action. Drea has came with the will kick and said it's all about us.
Because we've been fighting this for how long? For so many years, for acceptance from the others, right? If we don't connect with us and look out for us and change us, then we're not going to get anywhere. Everything that they try to put in place, we tear it down because we, oh, you invited to the cookout, or you this, or you black enough, but we're not black enough for ourselves, and that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. So we fix us first, and then it's okay to have, other people and be resourceful with them, but we're not resourceful with each other. So how could you say that you're living a good life, or you are in community when you're not in community with yourself? Because we are each other, and that's what I see. We can't, it's no, different for it. I can't be see my friend hungry and I'm full and I have the resources to feed them. That doesn't make sense. And it's always me, or mine. I've never been that person. And I don't know how to be that person. So I think we should uplift each other and nurture each other's talents and needs, not the wants, but the needs. And then we'll be a better community and we could connect better and be a better us.
Kwani, I have no more final thoughts, Kwani. And you're just gonna put the book up there? That's all you gotta say?
That was that was us right there. That was beautiful connection between us. That should have been in the book right there with everything you just said. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts, Dre, or that was it?
No, just making sure we keep this community and it doesn't change. And I appreciate you so much, Q, for who you are. Wish you could have been there last night, but we'll have something else that's really dope. You got to come out to Kwani because I'm gonna top that one.
The thing is right now I've been planning a train ride from New York to Seattle. I'm gonna do it about 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks from now, but it's gonna be about a 2 week trip.
No.
Not a plane ride, a train ride. Yeah, from across country, so I could see some things and experience some stuff. I don't feel like just being on the plane and dozing off. And next thing I know, I'm at my destination. So we'll definitely try to work something out real soon.
Connect. We're definitely connect.
With that, appreciate everybody in the chat for joining us for this special show of episode 12 of Artist Connection, where we were able to highlight Drea, the chef, literally and figuratively, the creator of the show. And, stay tuned for next week. I'm quite sure she's got some stuff up her sleeve. And, she is, because of last week when she was on vacation, I know that creative mind has been spinning of things that she wants to do, um, you know, and it's very intriguing because I look forward to what she's got planned. So, with that, appreciate everybody. Everybody have a blessed night.
And vote for
And
me. Favorite chef.
Vote for
And
and
buy the book.
vote for her and purchase the book. And we'll put a link in the chat to how you can purchase the book.